News, rumors and opinions Wednesday, September 17, 2025. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Ariel, at Proletario 1. The Iraqi e-card activation. The precipice is here September 17, 2025. The Iraqi e-card activation. Gearing up for the big stage. The precipice is here, unpacking the Trade Bank of Iraq's e-card activation. A game changer for global connectivity. Get in here, guys. You're going to love this. Yes, this e-card service from the Trade Bank of Iraq, TBI, is indeed international in scope. It's built around Visa Classic and Visa Gold cards, which plug directly into global payment networks like Visa's ecosystem for seamless cross-border use. Starting September 16, 2025, in Baghdad, it delivers these cards straight to customers with built-in security features, free issuance tied to new accounts, and real-time activation to cut out the old-school hassles of physical pickups. Where is this going? What makes this monumental isn't just the convenience, it's the quiet revolution it sparks for Iraq's economy, especially as the country edges toward full international waters. Think about it. With over 10 million active bank cards already in circulation, and digital transactions topping $11.5 billion this year, this rollout supercharges financial inclusion by letting everyday Iraqis tap into global spending without borders. No more relying on cash or dodgy exchanges. Now, remittances, online purchases, and even salary deposits flow digitally, aligning with the central bank's Al-Samawal push that's been ramping up since early September to weave everyone into the modern financial fabric. Tying this back to the oil momentum, we covered the SOMO readiness to market Kurdistan crude globally, the KRG handover locking in those steady USD streams, and the fresh leadership at the Iraq Stock Exchange. This e-card activation is the missing link that turns raw revenue into everyday power. Those billions from exports? They need a reliable way to cycle back home without friction, and Visa-enabled cards make that happen instantly, hedging against rate volatility while prepping the dinar for forex spotlight. It's like upgrading from a leaky bucket to a high-pressure hose. Iraq's not just exporting oil anymore, it's exporting stability, drawing in investors who see a digitally savvy market ready for prime time. In short, this isn't a footnote, it's the infrastructure that makes Iraq's revaluation story credible and the global pivot inevitable. If you're holding dinars or eyeing the market, this is your signal to watch closely. The pieces are snapping together faster than expected. Let's go further. Addendum. What is the strategic significance of the Trade Bank of Iraq's e-card activation for Iraqi dinar holders? Read full article. MNT Goat article. Iraqi Banks Association. The reform plan has reached its final form and will include all private banks. They are telling us today they are in the last phase of the process of banking reforms. Now it comes down to uniformity between all banks in the banking system. If you don't conform, you will not be banking in Iraq. They cannot risk more corruption once the currency is normalized and goes viral. We all should celebrate. What a relief it was to finally hear such good news. They really needed this too for the rollout of the reinstatement. Nader from the Mideast, they're trying to get away from the oil revenue. They want to make the oil revenue extra money coming in. They're working on a lot of things on a private sector to make it strong and make sure the stability of the economy doesn't depend on the oil revenue, because oil go up and down and sometimes they lose money in the oil when it goes down, especially when they have a budget that's $70 a barrel. The oil goes to $60 or $50, they start losing money. $200 silver is very attainable in a rush, and we are in one. Mike Maloney. September 16, 2025. Is $200 silver really on the table soon? In this episode, Mike Maloney explains why he believes we're in one of those rare moments when gold acts as both insurance and the top-performing asset, and why silver is still massively undervalued. Together with Alan Hibbard, they break down why stricter inflation math points to triple-digit silver potential, the demand shock versus limited new supply, 18 times more buyers, 55 times more currency, approximately 2 times more gold, how rate cut cycles and negative real yields historically supercharge gold and pull silver with it, why China's buying spree and import rule changes matter now. The case for physical metal with no counterparty risk versus yield on gold schemes. 0 silver's catch-up math. Why $200 isn't crazy. 130 safe haven and biggest gains asset. Gold's rare window. 440 1980 versus today. More buyers, more currency, scarce metal. 945 rates. CPI versus carbon monophosphide lie. And why real yields are key. GLASP 1635 China's role. Imports, inventories, and price impact. 1950 viewer wins and lessons. Stacking, patience, endurance. 2245 final takeaway and resources. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon.
Source: Dinar Recaps.